Welcome to New Meta Podcast, episode 101. Joining me as always, Marco and Adam. Got maybe one or two more questions left over from the Q&A. We've got Room 101, very fitting, and just a general meta overview, look at some heroes, look at the general style of play that's prevalent at the moment. Marco, welcome to the pod. A new era is upon us as we strive into the triple figures. How are you doing?
Welcome. Thank you. Doing good. New era, yeah. I'm glad that we made the executive decision to stick on Dota 2.
I missed a trick with the debate League of Legends intro.
Yeah, I imagine that.
Should have thought about that before.
But yeah, doing good. Ready for the new era of the 3 digits. It's big. Let's build it up to the 4 digits. Smiley face.
Yeah, level 1000 or episode 1000.
Yeah, that truly would be remarkable. Although you say
TI-20.
It's not a new era for League of Legends, but maybe this podcast has become an Ags Lab podcast based on the game history of my...
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, not even League. It's Ags Lab. We custom games now.
Yeah.
Have an Overthrow episode.
Oh, I can talk about Overthrow, actually. That's pretty funny.
Dota Race. What is that? What's that
Dota
called?
Run.
Dota Run, yeah.
That Dota Runs, I love Dota Run. It's great. We could genuinely do an Overthrow app, though. I feel like we've got enough experience to find to Overthrow.
Yeah.
Anything but 4-person Overthrow.
Or the one with the crazy swinging axes and
crazy
map.
That's the 4-person map.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah,
the 4-player teams.
Yeah, that's the traps. That's all the Labyrinth traps just thrown into King of the Hill Overthrow.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah. I suppose let's fly into how have games been on the subject of Ags Lab. Adam, you can go first, seeing as it is a new era. How have you been this week? What have you been up to in the Dota world, the custom game world, or whatever?
I'm good. Let me take a look and see if I've actually played a real Dota game. It's all losses, but that's all. So I played a Warlock game. It says a day ago. This must have been almost 2 days ago. Probably 44 hours ago. But then I've done 12 Ags Labs since then. It's all losses. It's all red. But yeah, let's see. It looks like I've done about 30 Ags Labs and 1 Warlock game.
That's the ratio we're after.
Yeah. But it's been good. I haven't really been winning a lot at the Ags Lab. It's pretty tough. Seems like you got to have a combination of luck and skill, but mostly luck, because it's luck on who you get as teammates, and then luck what you roll as talents as a squad, and then luck for what you get in the rooms. So still a lot of fun though, and I'm filling out my tree, my blessings tree. That's what I want to do, is have all the blessings.
Are you getting any decent levels out of it? Like Battle Pass levels?
Yeah, I get 4 levels a week.
Strong. That is strong. Wow. Maybe I should get involved a bit more. I want to do it just for the voice lines, honestly. The one in particular, when you beat level 2, I can't remember what it is, but it's my favourite.
I
Oh, yeah. Feel nothing but sadness that you're gone.
Gone. Yeah. And then the final one is the bok, bok, bok. That is what you sound like. That one's pretty good. Also, you should try and get through level 4 just because it's an achievement. You get levels for finishing it at least once for each of the difficulties. So.
Yeah, definitely worth flying in for a bit. Get carried by a Viper like last time, I think. Marco, similar story. You've been... I mean, I expect nothing less from Adam to be flying into the summer event.
Yeah.
But for you, you've been tempted as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the start, I never thought I would get hooked. I thought, oh, it's a cooperative game. It'd be fun to do in a 4-stack. But over time, I've been playing just casually on my own. Just I put some music on, and it's nice. It's just really chilled. It's not stressful like a game. It's fun, but a little bit challenging, and you want to do well. So I've just been having some chilled out lab runs, which has been really enjoyable. Then I cannot believe Adam didn't mention this. Have we had any notable ags?
Oh.
Hell yes, we have.
Yeah, I'll leave that to Marco because you were flipping out the entire time.
I was so hyped. So I hadn't done level 3, so Adam parties up to carry me. Fucking shove Adam out of the way. Who else is there to carry us other than 9 Pasha, 10 Smasher? Fucking Navi ex-VP God Gamer.
Yeah.
Literally
Best offlaner in the world at one point.
Yeah, he's in our lab run and just absolutely smashes it. He was Sniper and I was Weaver, and all I did for 45 minutes was click Solar Crest on the Sniper and use Sakuchi through creeps, and I still managed to choke on certain rounds. I was just so hyped to be playing with him, and he was...
That is exciting.
Yeah, he was on the mic a couple of times as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's how we were able to... I mean, he typed, and then that's when it comes up with like the pro tag or whatever,
right,
when they type, because it's different than their Steam name.
Yeah, the Steam name's
and
something random.
Yeah, and then he started to talk, and you're like, oh yeah, this is totally him.
So cool.
Was he speaking in Russian or English?
English.
Oh, nice.
And then Marco almost killed the run at the Malorkian Hammers.
Which is like round 5 or something out of 18.
Yeah, first boss level.
Honestly, choking.
The 2 Omni Knights, because I guess you didn't realize that you're supposed to keep them both at a low... Like, you're supposed to damage them equally and then kill them both at the same time, or else you make the Omni Knight do that big explosion round where he's invulnerable and you lose a lot of lives. And yeah, you killed him, and we had the one still at half health. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I spammed my bad over it a lot. But then I tried to keep PMA.
But we recovered.
Yeah, Omega carry, pretty sick.
I think I was Omni Knight that round, so if all you did was press Solar Crest on the Sniper, all I did was press Heavenly Grace.
And then we had a Disruptor who did big, heavy lifting as well. Disruptor seems very strong.
Yeah, we were just carried by both of them.
Yeah, me and Adam are fucking noobs. And then after
Nine Pasha's the one that does the weird... He has a weird gimmick, like keyboards.
Oh,
do you remember, Marco? Yeah, he touches it with his mouse hands. He's just playing, and he uses his mouse hand to press a button on his keyboard like all the time, like almost like a tick. It's really weird. And we tried to work out what it was, and we concluded it might be scoreboard. But he moves his hand off his mouse onto his keyboard in like a really weird way all the time, like multiple times a minute while he's playing, like in the middle of games. And he does it during fights as well. It's like really weird. But that was an observation from when we saw him play live at Birmingham or Dream League or something.
I'm sure you got a high 5 off, or maybe did you get a high 5 off VP? Maybe it was when
I don't remember that.
I think it's because it was Vici versus VP in the grand final, and you got high 5s off the Vici gaming team, and then beat the
softest
VP
hands
team.
in Dota.
Yeah, softest hands in Dota. They've made a killing off our endorsement.
Yeah, all those lotion adverts in China that they're just creaming now that it's in the popular culture that they have soft hands.
Yeah.
So
that's been the lab run, like the only significant one. I started was beating tier 3. I've had a few stabs at tier 4, but not made it. But I had good fun playing that. And then I think I've played 2 real Dota games in the week or something, and one of them was fairly notable. The 2 people I played with, I don't think they listened to the pod, but friends IRL, and they're like a Herald and Legend, and one of them was a Pudge, just a notoriously bad pub hero, and they laned against this rank 1k Immortal Arc Warden and just schooled him.
Really? Sick.
It's Scrubber Dave on Pudge, and they were just absolutely slaughtering this incredible Immortal player. And
Offlane Pudge?
Yeah, Pos 3 Pudge.
See, it's funny that you mentioned that, because there's been a bit of rumblings about offlane Pudge.
How's I making it cool?
Yeah, I saw that video. But yeah, sorry.
So that was interesting. That was a fun game. I was very impressed by those two. And then I played a game earlier tonight with Guild Gaming, 5-stack, pretty good fun. Solid, clean win.
Nice. In terms of my games, I've been away most of the week. I was away for 5 days, so I haven't been able to play any Dota during that time. Although I did see the beautiful sights of Derbyshire and the Peak District, so there you go. Did manage to get in a game yesterday, though, which was very fun. Went like 52 minutes. My legendary Phantom Assassin, PA versus Warlock, Sniper, Oracle. So that's like all you need to know.
Just slice and dice.
The game was so fun. Yeah, it was really, really good fun. I saw the heroes that I saw when I picked PA was Warlock, Oracle, Sniper, Slark. So I was feeling pretty good. I mean, Slark's not the best, but because you build Silver Edge naturally, but those three heroes, like Warlock, Oracle, Sniper, like, it's just a dream for PA. And I was playing with Blackhawk, big friend of the pod, Blackhawk. So without being too flamey, like the positioning of the supports on the enemy team, they were like lower ranked players. So it was so easy to just nuke Oracle and Warlock in fights and just get all of the sidelines and come back and clean up the rest. The game did go long though. Slark was fat. And Slark was doing similar things to our supports, like Dark Willow and Lich, while I was killing Oracle and Warlock. So,
I know the game went long because I was like, I'll get next. I'm going to make a pizza. And then I had time to like preheat the oven, make the pizza, eat the entire meal, and be like, it's going to be too late by the time Stan's done. He's not going to play another one. And then you finally won an hour in, and it's like, yeah, it's too late. And I was just like,
Yeah, it was so annoying because it was one of those where if it had been 10 minutes earlier, I would play, but it was like right on the borderline, so it was like kind of a grim one. If it had been a 40-minute game, I would have played another one and been up 40 minutes later. But as it were, I was just like, I kind of can't right now.
I get it. It's just like I haven't got to play with anybody in like it feels like 10 days. It's like every time I come back, y'all are in a 5-stack, and then it's the last game of the day. It's just like I'll get there sometime.
Yeah, I missed a game. This game I played here, I was going to do a Marco where I actually really like playing in a game of unranked Dota and putting music on and just like chilling out. But then Blackhawk was available, so we got in the game. But the Guild 5-stack I missed. You know that awful feeling when you log on to Dota and you see a stack that's like level 1 Jakiro, level 1
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, come on, bro. So yeah.
This discussion makes you think of a point I thought about post EP 100 when we're talking about like favorite Dota memories, and I was thinking to myself sometime this week back to when we did have that really consistent we'd have a 4-stack +1 like loop perhaps every like evening or every 2 evenings, basically because we had 4 of us were students, so we're all at university, and we'd like consistently get in games at like 10 p.m. pretty religiously. I was just thinking back to those days, reminiscing. Just
I remember that when Nick was in Sweden and stuff.
Nick was in Umeå.
Yeah,
but me and you were both at uni still, and we could get these games in. But now it's like you're hunting for scraps.
It's not only that; the guild is too booming.
Guild's booming.
Yeah, actually,
you guys get these 5-stacks. You don't need me anymore. I'm stuck over here in NA, just by my lonesome. That's why I just do Ags Lab. I can just do that solo.
It is remarkable what an empire we've built. These games, these guild games, these new meta podcast guild games with our banners, just we're not even there and they just happen. It's amazing. These 5-stacks just run. It's quite cool.
One other thing. So Saul, the guy I play with, he said he saw someone with the new Metapod tag in one of his games, right? And he was just like, do you know, come dine with me? And that guy was like, no. So apparently we got somebody in the guild that doesn't actually listen.
We got to shake that guy out, get him out.
It's totally fine.
So funny.
But I was just like, damn, someone out here repping the guild. And I didn't know the name either. So, I mean, it goes both ways. He's like, did you know this guy? Like, no, I have no clue who that is.
That's funny. He's got the New Meta podcast tag, and you're like, so you're a fan of the podcast? And he's like, the what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think he might be higher ranked than you, though, Stan. I think he was ranked 28, so...
No doubt about that, I'm sure. Oh, they're slacking. Probably higher rank than me as well in Dota 2, but that's if it was bad.
He was like Divine 3.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's higher than my peaks, so... When I played with Blackhawk yesterday, I don't know what rank Blackhawk is. I think he's like Guardian or something. And we were queuing up in unranked, and he was like, "Oh man, this queue is going to be so weird with a Guardian and an Immortal." And I was like, "Bro, I got some news for you." Got some news for you, bro. Fair enough. If I pick Tinker, then it's like kind of accurate. But I wanted to play PA, so I was like, I got some news.
Oh, that's funny.
Room 101 for episode 101. Oh, go on. You have something to say?
I was going to say, can we talk the Arcana vote?
Oh, yeah. The Arcana vote, but also before we do that, let's just do the question.
Oh, yeah, and the Q&A question.
Okay, the Q&A, then we'll do Arcana, then we'll do Room 101, and then then we'll do General Meta. What a jam-packed episode. My goodness. We said we'd do questions left over from the Q&A that we didn't get round to. Today, we'll do a question from Beluga. So, can you believe this, Marco and Adam? Hey, I started playing Dota about 1 year ago surrounding TI9, no doubt inspired by OG. I have kids, a job, and game 2 times a week for 2 hours, and now it's only Dota. What's the best thing I can do to get better? I have around 320 games played, 99% of them turbo, it's a bit of a yikes. I listen to Dota podcasts, read the Learn Dota 2 subreddit, things like that. What should I focus on in-game to get better and improve? Am I screwed? ? Marco, I don't know. What's your initial thoughts?
I mean, am I screwed? We're all screwed, so no, you're not screwed. I mean, do you want to know what I'm going to say if you should focus on something in a game to get better? Do you actually want the answer that I would give?
He's going to say last hit trainer.
Nah, I wouldn't be that.
I thought that was the Marco standard.
If time is constraint, I would say just take the last hit trainer to a real game and focus on last hitting. If you're playing pause one. I mean,
hitting creeps.
But in a kind of bit more serious, it does depend a bit on what hero you'd like, what position, you'd like to play. Because if you don't have that many games, you don't have that much time, but you want to get a bit better, you're going to have to focus on at least one lane. If you're only playing,
you have to pare down on the heroes.
You have to what? Sorry,
pare down on the number of heroes, right?
Yeah. So if you are like, oh, I really like playing carry, then it is very straightforward that you just get better with your mechanics of hitting creep and farming camp to camp. And I mean,
creeps, don't die. That's like the carry 101.
Don't get involved too much because your team will do dumb shit, and if you follow, you'll just do dumb shit as well. Just farm up and get involved when it's clear that you can actually contribute to kills, say, or contribute to an objective. But otherwise, you can just farm, and then lead the game at 15-20 minutes. But then, say if you're a support, maybe that's for Adam.
Maybe that's for me. What I was going to say was, so turbo is nice from the standpoint that since it's turbo, right, it's faster, you get more practice at later stages of the game, just like farmed. And it's good for like spell casting because you get to do more of that in turbo. But I honestly feel like if you want to get better, you would play regular Dota. Because it would slow down and you would have more time to think. And it's like, I guess turbo kind of instills some bad habits too, right? That don't transfer very well to real Dota with the those crazy couriers and just like the crazy gold.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And buybacks and stuff.
It's a weird one. If he's 99% of his games are turbo, then it's almost worth asking the question: do you want to get better at turbo or the real game? It's like, if you want to get better at the real game, then yeah, you need to do like what you're saying. You should play the real game, I guess.
But if you want to get better at turbo, that's an entirely different question because I feel like the Turbo hero pool is about 60% of the regular Dota hero pool.
Yeah.
Just because some of them, some heroes peak early and they get crazy left behind by Turbo, and then other ones are just hyper late game mega stars, and those are what are pretty good in the Turbo.
Yeah, I would say if we're saying he gets 2 hours a week to play Dota, if we say that's 3 games, say.
Or 2 times a week for 2 hours, maybe that's 4 hours.
Okay, maybe that's 4 hours. So let's say it's either 3 games or 6 games. 6 games is definitely enough to get better at the game, so you're definitely not screwed. I would say don't play. Huh?
I said agreed.
Oh, right. Definitely. I would say don't play Turbo, like what Adam was saying, and then again, I would say what Marco said. Pick a role, pick 2 or 3 heroes. If you really are just trying to get better, like improve your rank, do that. And then you mentioned listen to podcasts and learn Dota 2 subreddit. That's great. Obviously, you're doing the right thing listening to the new Meta podcast. But also, I would say throw in a replay, like on YouTube every once in a while, of a hero that you like. If you're thinking, I'm going to play a lot of offlane and I'm going to play a lot of Axe and whatever, I don't know, Brewmaster and Doom or something, then just chuck on like a Dota 2 pro replay of a Doom and see what he's doing. And not highlights, like an actual full game, because oftentimes it's what they do in the downtime is important, like whether they farm, whether they're just running, etc. So that's would be my little basic 101 formula.
There's like no shortage of, like you don't even have to watch it in Dota TV. You just go to YouTube and type in like the hero.
Yeah.
Maybe you put in the patch number. There's no shortage of YouTube channels that have like pro perspective.
Yeah. Full
Dota
game player perspective.
Yeah. And if you're lucky, you hit like a Dota 2 Bowie video or something where he like in depth explains things.
Yeah.
As to why something's good at the time. But otherwise, there's like tons of channels that just give the perspective, which is very valuable.
Yeah, you ultimately want to emulate what the better or a better player is doing. So those videos watching someone who's good at a hero play is great. I would offer the cautionary point of there's only so much that consuming theory craft and knowledge and info can help. But I also do feel like for newer players and even for like just lower skill players, they can sometimes get caught up too much in this kind of wider knowledge and depth to the game. Because I mean, I don't blame them. It's so rich and interesting that how could you not be fascinated by the complexity of Dota? But at the same time, if you're talking about being a new player wanting to get better, you're going to improve at the fastest rate by focusing on the basics. And the basics of literally last-hitting creeps. If you're a carry, or if you're not a carry, then spell casting. If you're a spell cast, like understanding what your spells do and having your hero in the right position to execute will get you very far. If you're an offlaner, watch one of these pro games to see how they use the hero and how they use their spells. Just find like an item build, just copy someone's item build, don't think about it. Copy someone's spell build, don't think about it, and just focus on the basics of where your hero is, how you cast spells, how you hit creeps.
Well, it's also just playing the game.
Yeah, you have to play if you're going to get better. You can't just read your way better.
Yeah, it's your clicks and mouse movements and button presses that like you're making. So no matter how much you watch of a pro doing it, it won't translate. You just kind of want to have the knowledge of what's possible.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a side point before we do the Arcana. That's almost like the beauty of Dota. It's so crazy when you think about it. When you first start playing Dota, if you're a new player, so much of what makes you better and makes you an improving player is getting better at these mechanics, like literally playing the game, like what we've just been saying. And you keep getting better and better and better, and then you get so good at that aspect of the game that what becomes important, and we're talking about the like pro scene here, everyone's so good at that mechanical stuff that what becomes important is this theory, and then almost at the highest level it switches back and suddenly a significant chunk of the game is played on paper, literally like in a draft. It's crazy, that weird shift of everyone being so good at one thing that suddenly the game becomes, the theory and the strats become more important than the mechanical ability that they've built up over years of playing. So weird game. Weird game. Arcana vote then, as Marco alluded to. What's the situation? Fill me in, Marco. What's going down in this Arcana vote?
Wait, did we thank the question asker?
I said it was Beluga at the start, but we can formally thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Yeah, there you go.
Arcana vote. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought there was 8 heroes left. Is that true? No.
16.
There's 16. Ah, okay. I thought it was more intense a moment than it is. Okay, there's 16 left, but we're just voting on 8 of them at the moment. So I think it's hype because there's few left. Big battle boxing round that's going to happen is the Anti-Mage Ricky.
Oh, that's a tough one for you.
That's a tough one for me. I was thinking about it, talking about it a little bit. Ultimately, I think I'm going to... Well, I have slapped 60 on our boy Ricky because Anti-Mage has a persona and you can't equip items with persona. So if I'm going to kind of stay true to the persona, which is cool, Ricky's therefore the better shout. And maybe I play Ricky a bit more, especially recently. So...
let's look. What do you think the final 4 will be? You mentioned that you lumped on Ricky. I lumped on Chaos Knight against Faceless Void. I think that's a losing battle.
I think that's losing.
But I'd like to see Chaos Knight go down with a swing of his sometimes procking sword. But
he could get something cool.
Yeah.
I think Void always makes it far.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
I think it's going to be Void, Ricky, Spectre, and Witch Doctor.
So Witch Doctor's got Dro.
I think Witch Doctor will overcome the Invoker.
I think Witch Doctor's the support meme hero. Either that or Lion. One of the two is getting the final 4, and I don't think Lion beats Void. I think Void always makes it pretty far. I voted for Mirana, for what it's worth. 60 on Mirana over Lion. But
interesting. Is that because you want Lion to be toppled? You don't want the support vote to be split when it gets to the final 4?
Oh, I just would think Mirana Arcana would be cool, but I just don't think it will. It's not pub stompy enough or meme enough to make it.
Yeah. I think it for me, I'm not sure. Never underestimate the power of the meme. Invoker does look strong. I feel like the Invoker voters will be there or thereabouts. Having said that, though, he actually got more votes in the last round than he did in this round, which is kind of interesting. And then bottom right, I think Anti-Mage will come out of that, honestly. Maybe not. It's hard to say. Sniper, perhaps. Maybe Sniper. And then, yeah, Void. And I guess Spectre. I don't know. That'd be interesting, though. I mean, Arcana vote's always cool. I mean, is there much else to say on the Arcana?
They're running out of memes, is what it's coming down to. It's like Ogre,
Wisp, yeah.
Yeah, Ogre meme happened, Wisp meme happened. Like, now it's just stuck with, it's always the same. I feel like the top 16, about 14 of them are always the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you just you have to always take out the ones that have won before, but then it's always pretty much the same characters around.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's do our Room 101 in our ever-increasing number of segments that we have here.
Yes.
Room 101, for those not familiar, the torture room, I guess, from the novel 1984. Marco suggested this idea, by the way, so I take no credit for this incredible... I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a pun. It's like a... I don't know, just... The number 101. It's basically where you put something that you want to your worst nightmare. I think it's like your worst nightmares in there.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is that the secret police take you to room 101, where behind it is your worst nightmare that they're going to torture you with.
That actually
so nice and light.
Nice and light.
Yeah, what is the Dota equivalent? That is an interesting question. What is the Dota equivalent? What's your Room 101? Your Room 101 game of Dota, or like your Room 101 mechanic or whatever?
Well, to clarify, just so we keep the pod PG, we're not saying you're going in Room 101. We're saying what are you going to put in Room 101 safely behind the door, and we'll go elsewhere. So you want to put your worst nightmare in the room, and we're going to talk about our worst nightmares
in Dota. Okay. Marco, do you want to start off? Do you have your Room 101? Pos for Zeus.
Pos for Zeus is straight in there. I mean, there probably are quite a lot of things that do niggle me and wind me up, and I don't know where to go, but maybe it's too extreme to say my worst nightmare is people not shoving creep waves and instead hitting neutral camps. Maybe that's too dramatic, but I find it quite nightmarish when someone's hitting the neutrals and there's a creep wave that could be shoved. Quite dramatic, but has to be
I'm
said.
imagining your Room 101 is you get into Room 101, but the Secret Police bundle you in there. It's just a computer. It's just a game of ranked Dota 2, but the only hero you can pick's Terrorblade or something. Is that your Room 101? The only available heroes in the game are Naga and TB. And you just got to choose which one, and you just have to do that on repeat until you lose your mind. I think it wouldn't be long before you declared your love for Big Brother or whatever. Only probably 5 TB games in a row, no doubt losses because I've seen your TB, and then soon you'd be declaring that you love the Secret Police and whatever else they needed you to say.
Yeah, I'd be begging to stop, so I stop losing MMR and end up losing my badge because I leak too many losses on TB.
Yeah. Adam, thoughts for Room 101? What do you want banished? Well, it's interesting. Sorry, it's weird because when people say, what do you want to put in Room 101, they mean what do you want to banish from the world, but that's not really... I'm confused as to what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, I guess that is what the popular meaning of Room 101 is, and there's TV shows about what you would put in Room 101 to banish, and it's just it is the spin-off from the 1984 Terror Room, where behind it you'll be tortured by your worst nightmare, so... There's a bit of link between the two. But I guess you can decide what kind of thing we're putting in there. Is it our worst nightmare or is it things we want to banish?
It's just kind of the same. It's similar-ish. I mean, Adam can take it whichever way. It's kind of
it's just whatever my worst nightmare is. That's what I want to get rid of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's playing 5 position and my team gives up at 5 minutes, but I'm stuck in there for another 30.
That is a good one, to be fair.
Yeah, like the last game I played on Warlock, in between my 30 games of Ags Lab, where it was just the rest of the team's okay, this game's over, but we're stuck playing it. That feels bad. And then a 51-14 loss, or 57-14 loss in 36 minutes. That's my Room 101.
You need someone to tank and abandon.
Yeah, where it's just I want to play, I want to try, I still think we can win, but no one else thinks we can win, but no one else will abandon, so we just wait it out.
Oof. Yeah, that is a strong one, to be fair. I think most of the people listening to the podcast will feel you on that. Giving up in Dota is pretty rough.
A worst nightmare, on repeat, torturous, could be you're playing anti-mage and your chick gets sniped of your Battle Fury over and over. That's pretty painful. I
mean, I would definitely say going for a 50-50 rune and having it spawn at the enemy's rune location. That's playing a game of Dota where you have to play mid and you guess wrong for the rune every time. Although, to be fair, I've got mild experience of that anyway, so I feel like I'd be prepared for Room 101 if that happened to me.
That's
I feel like that's every game. Every game I get to play with you and you're mid, it's always you lose the runes. Yeah, I think you just are really unlucky.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
Yeah, the save, your world's unluckiest player. That's why you've lost mid again.
Yeah.
Smiley
all I'm saying is give me a cheeky little haste rune at 4 minutes, and it's over. That's it. My rune 101, what would I put in to be banished from Dota? I don't know. NA server, maybe? No.
You're talking about you're from the EU. You should come over there and stomp. So easy. NA gamers.
Well, it's interesting you should say that. The reason that I wouldn't play NA server is because of ping, although it's barely noticeable. I can easily play on US East. But I actually would put in connection issues in Dota, which, to be honest, isn't really to do with the game of Dota 2, but nothing angers me more than connection issues, either on my team or from me myself. Having someone DC'd or continuously DC'd, or me not being able to connect and like having to restart my computer and all this is, oh my goodness, I just can't be dealing with it. It's one of the most frustrating things. So that would be my room 101 in Dota, would be disconnections. Definitely. Very, very frustrating. That's another thing, actually, that meant that the game I played yesterday that you were waiting for, we were also paused for ages because someone DC'd at the start of the game. So that's another time added on. It's just, I would definitely put DCing in there, I think. And aside from that,
I think pause abusers or people that don't respect the pause, that's another one that goes in the room.
Yeah. I'm
talking about like that instant unpause. Like the guy DCs and they unpause right away at the first opportunity, and you have to waste all your pauses, and it's only one person on the other team constantly unpausing.
Yeah. No, that's fair. If someone pauses and it's the first pause, and the enemies are spamming unpause, or someone's spamming unpause, yeah, that's room 101 for sure. You gotta give a bit of time, but at the same time, no one's going to wait forever, obviously, but yeah, you have to wait a bit longer.
I don't mean like after 10 minutes or after even
sure.
Yeah.
I think that's our room 101.
Oh, I have another
episode.
one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Marco's muted. I don't know if he knows but he said AFK. Never mind. I should have checked. Well, this is making fun of Marco. So how am I supposed to continue with this if he's not even going to hear it?
I mean, we can wait. I mean,
my room 101 is without fail at every game of Dota with Marco. He cannot go to the bathroom until after he's picked. But he's going mid or core, so he has to wait to the last round to pick. So that means he's never available at rune fights because he always has to go AFK at the beginning of the game. That's room 101.
Yeah. How's a problem?
That's a problem.
So is that Marco's bladder? Is that what we're putting in room 101? Or
I mean, it's because back in the day, you did have time where you'd press accept to play the game. You did have time to go quick lavatory break because there didn't used to be this double picking, and there used to be more time to pick. So the picking phase used to be much longer.
And strategy time.
Yeah, but now it's like rapid fire with 2-2-1. So then I can't actually leave until I've picked my hero, but then I end up picking earlier second phase, if not last pick, and then you're straight into the game, and I'm flying to the lavatory and back, and it's golly gosh, it's quite the stress.
The water closet.
Yeah, well, I think maybe you're so hyper focused and the adrenaline's pumping in the game, so that when you finish, you immediately think, I'm fine, I don't need to take a break, just queue up again, and then you slowly relax, and it's only when the game pops and you accept the match that your body's relaxed enough that you think, actually, I need to pop to the loo.
Well, that's what it is now. It's just like, you can't even be mad about it now because it's just like learned behavior. It's like Pavlov's Dota response, It's like he's trained to where he cannot play any other way.
Nice. So the blame is now not on me. That feels good.
Oh, well, yeah, although he did kind of liken you to a dog, to be honest, with the whole
is that what it
conditioning thing. So, I don't know who's winning.
Different kind of flame.
Yeah. Let's talk about the patch. We're 40 minutes in, so I mean we haven't got too long to discuss, but through the midst and misty Aganim's Labyrinth that we've all been playing, have managed to glimpse a little bit into the metagame in ranked Dota 2. And just to give a bit of an overview to set the scene, obviously we've seen a lot of big carries come back into the meta in a big way, none bigger than Spectre, but also heroes like Anti-Mage, a big Arc Warden, Faceless Void, big carries. Heroes that used to be good before 7.27 like Lycan have fallen off. But I feel like in the last 2 weeks, some heroes are back that weren't there before. Magnus, I feel like, is this huge hero now being played mid a lot. Doom, another like hero that's huge in the meta at the moment. But to come into this discussion from another angle, what do you think that means for the metagame that these carry heroes are in? Weaker laners, that allows weaker laning 3s, weaker laning 4s to come in, greedier heroes in general. And a hero that I wanted to maybe start the conversation with, although feel free to take it anywhere, but a hero that start the conversation with is Dark Willow, enjoying a pretty strong win rate at the moment overall in all brackets, although it is about 50% in Divine Plus, which is the best that it's been for quite a while. Do you guys think that Willow is a greedy 4, or like why is Willow back in the meta a bit more now, given that the spells haven't obviously been buffed? Do you think it's just do you think it just represents the fact that you can sort of get away with greedier 4s? I would say, have you seen much Willow in your games? But you haven't really been playing because you've been playing Agslab, and I don't think you can pick Willow in Agslab.
Willow's not an Agslab. So
yeah.
No, I do think she's greedy. Greedy for sure, but she's really strong spell wise in a vacuum. It was just a matter of getting there. You know, like what's it? Terrorize? Is that the big AoE team fight? Yeah, that spell's insane. And they kept buffing the cooldown on her Q. I'm pretty sure. She's like a weak laner. I mean, what does she do? Really, like the Q, if good players can walk through it, right? They can walk around it.
Yeah.
The W is super long cooldown and doesn't do a lot of damage until you get like level 5. And then the E is great sometimes, Curse Crown, but I feel like later when you're doing your like solo combos. In the lane, it's just like, okay, I walk away because it takes like 4 seconds for it to pop, right?
Mm.
And I feel like her real strength comes in the later stages of the game. You know, she'd kill anyone from level 7 on, but it's like when you get into the terrorize Roche team fight type of stuff.
Oof, yeah, some tasty stuff. Marco, I mean, like Adam said, it's a weak laner. What kind of thing in the meta makes Willow a good hero or a bad hero? Do you think it's just the fact that laning's a bit more open now because the game tends to go longer? You can get away with weaker laning heroes, therefore Willow comes in? Or do you think more to it than that? Or
I think that's definitely a big part of it, that the game's doesn't hinge as much on having a dominant, strong, successful lane. So yeah, shifting emphasis away from the early game to more mid game means a weak laner like Willow has license to come in. And then with these longer games, when you're going later, if we're thinking about bigger skirmishes happening or bigger team fights happening and being more common in Dota as opposed to monkey business playstyle, Willow spells as a 4 and the control that a 4 can bring, it's kind of on par with the Earthshaker top tier with the amount of disable and control. If you're hitting multi-man, terrorize into brambles, you've got an AoE stun, you're elusive, so you can get multiple rounds of spells off. That is very attractive if we're having a meta where bigger team fights are more likely and longer games are more likely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And also the items are really nice on Willow. You know, you get items like Yours and Blink, and you're suddenly incredibly more elusive because with the Shadow Realm, obviously, as we know, you can't be targeted and all that. so it's quite easy to get blinks away and stuff like that, and you just become even more elusive.
Also, with this meta shift to, say, less tempo, more farm orientated or slower carries as well. So, say, Spec is really popular. It'd be interesting to talk about Spec. But just later game orientated heroes, I do think Willow fares well against because of her elusive nature, like you mentioned. So, obviously, Shadow Realm just disappearing and the brambles, and she is quite a hard hero to kill if you're this hard carry hero.
Yeah,
she does very well against that. She's going to struggle if your POS 1 isn't a hard carry. It is more of a kind of tempo or aggressive or a spell casting hero. But hard carries, hard POS 1s, which are just going to be farming and hitting, I think Willow does very well against because of her elusive nature and because of the control she can offer. So maybe that plays into her favorability.
Yeah, I would say so. The skill build for Willow, I mean, Q is such a 1-point wonder. Just to run through why, I mean, all you get by leveling up is basically 0.5 more root duration. That's if you do land it. Adam said it's quite easy to dodge. It only goes up 25 in damage, and the mana cost goes up. Cooldown doesn't get increased. The maze radius doesn't get increased, so you can kind of just... Usually you're going to get that at level 1, almost always, and then after that you basically just leave it, I guess, until after you've leveled W and maybe a bit of E. I don't know, but Shadow Realm's definitely the spell you want to max. In terms of playing Willow in the lane, is it just a case of trying to latch Bramble Maze? It's quite costly to just randomly throw out Bramble Maze. Or are you just using Shadow Realm to harass? It seems like a weird one. I wouldn't know exactly what I was meant to be doing if I was trying to play a 4 Willow.
I think it's a classic 4 where you need to have in your mind that you're playing a passive itty bitty lane where whenever if you try and force something as a Willow, you're likely going to screw up and you're likely going to probably die. You're so squishy that if you try and force something and your spells don't connect, you deserve to die. What you need to be doing as a +4 Willow, in my eyes, is you itty bitty. You have got a nice right click animation, so that's fine. You just need to keep the enemy support at bay. You just want to help secure your POS 3's farm and XP. And I think the only time you should go is really on the call of the POS 3. Like, say we think about a Mars Willow combo. I think you're only having a go if Mars is like, there's an opportunity for me to bulwark and get a spear off. And if that happens, then Willow, you follow up. I think that's a situation where you put your foot down. But if not, your aim very much should be just passive, help secure farm, pull the lane to the hard camp and control that equilibrium. Try and be a little bit destructive with the enemy support. You can use your W to kind of get out of danger or to do damage. But I think really prioritize that passive nature unless an opportunity is taken by the POS 3. I think if you try and make something happen, you'll fail, you'll die, you'll lose the lane. You can't just use a Bramble every 10 seconds like an Impale. It's a big cooldown and it's a big mana cost. And if it goes wrong, you're a squishy hero that's asking to die. So, play
as what you said, you have a really good auto animation, but you have low range.
Yeah.
So you can't, and you're like squishy, so you can't even like trade that well. It's like one of those popping in and out of the trees type of harassing. And you can bramble when the enemy supports are like running through the trees. Like, you got to make sure that they can't dodge, right? There are times where you can land brambles, but it's definitely not I'm going to just throw this on the creep wave and hope they waddle into it. So it is much more dependent on who your 3 is. Honestly, if I was playing it, because I don't play Dark Hole that much, I'd probably just be using my W to try and secure the range creep.
Yeah, great shout.
I just leave it at that. Hope I get level 5, level 6.
Your Q is decent defensively as well. If, say, you're getting run at or your POS 3 is being run at, Bramble is usually pretty reliable to prevent people running at you because they'll likely run into the Brambles. I mean, you can just provide that buffer. Yeah. So really, it comes back to you're securing the lane, you're securing the range creeps, you're focusing on pulling the hard camp. you're trying to keep the pos 5 at bay with your little nips. Really passive.
Yeah. Another hero that I mentioned that's come into the meta in a big way recently is Magnus, but I think the way that Mag's in the meta is quite interesting. When Mag Mid was huge, and even Mag Pos 1 was huge a little while back, it was purely this hard farming, self-empower, disappear into the woods and come back 6-slotted. But I think it's an interesting reflection on the meta that that's not really the way that Mag's being played at the moment. It's being played as an offlane or a mid or an offlane to empower a core, to empower a core basically by blink early and be that RP empower hero. I think that's interesting because it kind of shows what we already knew, that it's very much almost like a 4 protect 1 meta that's emerging. Spectres and anti-mages are really big, but it's not like your TAs and your mid Arc Wardens, mid Nagas are big. There's definitely room in the meta for 1 very hard farming core, but not necessarily 2. Having said that, the Mag changes to Empower not too long ago means that Mag does farm up a treat himself. It's just that the build is kind of treads Blink, or treads Echo Saber Blink, BKB. It's not some, hard farming AC, like quick AC, basher, no blink, just being a monster kind of build that we saw not too long ago. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that. That's kind of like the Mag overview at the moment.
So is there not any favour for the Pos 2 Mag farming themselves? Is that still...
There is...
I mean, you can still do that.
You can still do that, yeah. It's just...
He's just coming back, I guess, as a other part of the lanes, because that's what I would only ever see it was mid. There was no more like 4 Mag, 3 Mag. Classically Mag was a 3 for the longest time.
Yeah, his hit rate is really high. 19%, 53% win rate. That is high.
Adam is right, though. It's almost exclusively mid at the moment.
Across, I think that these lane presence stats are across every Mag game, so it's hard to say what the highest ranks are doing, but it says off lane 55%. But that looks to be incorporated in every skill bracket. I would have thought it's mid, though.
Strong spells, and I can't... What's the W called? I can't think of it.
Empower?
Yeah, that's just insane.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even... if I see it picked, I think it's going to be mid. But then if they, load up on other melee cores, I just feel so sad. It's
yeah.
PA or Slark with Empower is just, sigh.
Yeah. Even just chucking it on a Spectre is so grim.
Yeah, anyone really. It's just they're just going to do so much more damage. And, he gets so Giga buff. It's way better, just the way more effective self-cast.
Yeah.
It's like what you say. It does... One of the strengths of the middle Mag was it doesn't matter if you get destroyed mid, you just go jungle all the camps and you come out 2 levels ahead anyways. And it's the same with the off lane. It's back when what's it called? Iron Talon. Gosh, it's not in Ags Lab, so I have to think about these items. Yeah, back when Iron Talon meta, it's I don't care what the off-lane matchup is. I'm going to jungle anyways if it gets hard. It's the same thing. Just I'm going to stack these Ancients, and I'm going to clear them at level 7, and then all of a sudden I have gear. All he really needs is treads. And it's treads Echo Blink or treads Blink. I guess if you're going offlane, maybe treads Blink. That'd be kind of cool because people would kind of have it in their head that you're going to be more of a farmy type of role. And if you just show up with Blink RPs pretty early, cast your spells, get core kills, pretty nice.
I think you make a good point about the 4 protect 1, because like we said, you could still hard farm as Mag. There's no reason that's not the case anymore, but in the past, where you think about, okay, a really key kind of moment in the game is around 20 minutes, that's deciding who wins, who loses. The game state is more now, all right, 25, 26, 27. This is more the key moment of the game, who wins or loses. And so you're now optimizing for that later point. So rather than you just beef up a Magnus who, would get stronger and fat, you forego that to go, okay, instead of gold being amassed on me for this 20-minute mark spike, I'm going to amass it on the carry. So 20 minutes, they're really strong, but they're not late game strong. But the game's not ending at 20, it's going to 30. So that then snowballs them for another 10 minutes. And now at 30 minutes, because of my empowering, like, supportive play, I've got this Omega fat carry that can seal the game. So there's a shift away from, say, the mid being the big carry tempo. Well, not tempo, the big carry. You're shifting that onto the carry's shoulders into this 4 protect 1 style, like you say.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing. And then the second point I'd mention is there have been decent buffs. I would say decent for Shockwave and even Skewer. The Shockwave movement speed slow's gone up. So that means if you get hit, you're kind of stuck in the same place a bit more.
So annoying.
Very fucking annoying. Yeah. And then the Skewer, the radius, I mean, it's a tiny number going up by 10, but radius every little counts. And then the cooldown level, I mean, at every level's gone down 4 seconds. So higher up time on a Skewer. Because also they've basically linked that with Dagger, I think. I think Dagger's got like a 15, 16 second, maybe 13, 14. Is it 13?
Blink Dagger, 15.
15?
15. Wow.
So now your Skewer, 4 seconds lower, it's lining up with your Blink Dagger as well. So you say as a 3 roll, because of this Skewer cooldown buff, you're getting more done, or you can get more done.
Nothing is more satisfying than blink skewering someone into your tier 3 and you just kill them. It's like, this is a hook that actually takes skill. No.
Yeah. Another thing, 3 things about Mag, actually, about other reasons why he's come in. Well, one's just a tip. A tip is you don't actually have to blink the other side of a hero to skewer them in because of the way that Shockwave works now. If you blink next to a hero, Shockwave them, and then just skewer in the direction you want to go, they're guaranteed to be behind you. So by that I mean, if you skewer a hero that's right in front of you and then skewer behind you, because of the Shockwave... Sorry, if you Shockwave a hero that's right in front of you and then skewer behind you, you'll skewer them because the Shockwave will drag them behind you.
Drag them into you.
Yeah.
Drag them into you, yeah. So that's an interesting little pointer. And then a couple of other things. This is similar to what Marco was saying about the Empower question, about being strong for minute 25. Just a more basic point than that is, if the game is slower, by definition, Magnus is going to be better because he has this Empower spell, and your team gets 5 more minutes to just farm with Empower. It's like as simple as that. You often hear it in pro games, like, this Team Secret really don't want to let EG farm here because they've got Magnus. EG has Magnus, so that's just 5 more minutes for Mag and the core that he's empowering to just farm with this crazy steroid spell. So the game slowing down is just going to make Magnus better, full stop. And he has this RP, which is this huge game-winning spell in the late game. Another thing is that core Magnus loves Echo Saber, and Echo Saber is one of the sickest items this patch, no doubt. And it now builds into Silver Edge, so it has this late game potential as well, especially with heroes like Spec flying around. So just the item progression feels much nicer on Mag. You go Treads, Echo Saber, Blink, BKB say, and then suddenly you can go into Silver Edge, you can go into AC if you want, but just that potential for the Echo Saber to not be a dead item in the late game is really, really nice for Magnus. All Echo Saber heroes are doing well at the moment. Mag's no different. Yeah. Let's spend 5 minutes on one other hero then. I don't know if you guys have a hero that you think might be worth discussing.
We already talked about Doom in the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about Doom, didn't we? I think.
It's still good. Doom is still a good spell. Free Midas is still a good spell.
Yeah, Free Midas is disgusting. So grim.
Doom fits the same good point that Stan made about if you got a game going 5 minutes later, then you've got 5 more minutes of devouring creeps and using Midas and things like that.
Yeah, no question about it.
I'm amazed at how strong the Spec stats are. 21% pick rate in Divine Plus, 54.5% win rate. That's a high win rate for that pick rate. And then if you go down the ranks as well, even at Crusader and lower, 58% win rate. Holy moly, that's just a free win if you pick Spec. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Spec's ever had this level of dominance.
No, I don't think so. It's always been a strong hero pub.
Good. I'm surprised that she's that high with Silver Edge being better.
That's true.
Do you bother with Silver Edge?
Yeah, you gotta turn off Dispersion or else everyone dies.
Oh, wait, sorry. I thought you meant Spec build Silver Edge.
No. I just mean, like, I'm surprised. Yeah, because you think...
I see what you're saying.
Like, everyone's picking it up kind of almost anyways, because it's actually pretty good.
I feel bad on Spec that... with these statistics, maybe Ice Frog doesn't care too much about the really strong pub heroes, but that's a high win rate, very high pick rate. I feel bad that she's going to get, or likely could get shafted, just because there's this meta shift that now really favors her, and really, this going late and towers being strong. Yeah. I don't know, it's everything Spec wants, really. There's also the mid, or the tier 1 items, maybe not tier 1, but the kind of first items you pick up if you think about these Helm of Dominator recent trends, or Midas trends, or drum improvements. Those initial items really favor a hero like Spec that struggles to get going. But then once she gets going, and once she gets that second big item, then she can really start farming and really damage dealing and delaying the game to the late game where she wins.
Yeah. One hero that I think's interesting, we mentioned, and this discussion won't take too long, but we talked about how Zeus has sort of fallen from grace. For the longest of time, Zeus was always at the top, along with Lycan and Visage, crushing pub win rates, and then to fall off quite spectacularly. But now, lo and behold, is back, especially in the lower ranks. 55% win rate all the way up to Ancient, and even then at Ancient it's still pretty decent, 53%, and then 52% at Divine Plus. But I think what's interesting about Zeus is that the way this hero is played has changed quite a lot, because Nimbus has been repeatedly nerfed, and in 7.27b the cooldown of Nimbus was increased from 35 seconds to 45 seconds. That's a 10-second nerf on the cooldown. That's huge. So the way that Zeus is played now is not an Ags Rush. You're seeing items like Yules and Blink, BOTs, Aether Lens obviously, that's still the same. And sometimes Ags completely ignored, and if it is picked up, it'll be picked up as like a 4th item. So it's really interesting to see that trend with Zeus. Also the skill build trends have been changing quite a lot, I think. People have been... Still probably the most popular build is maxing out the W, but I've seen a lot of people ignore the W and max Q and get points in the static field as well.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah. But yeah, Zeus without Ags is having some success. Marco, you always have strong opinions about Zeus. Why do you think that is? Do you think this fits the meta? Does Zeus strike you as a greedy mid here, or it's more... It's kind of like it's magic damage, so you wouldn't think it would fit that well into a meta of late game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit baffled.
Percentage-based damage.
Yeah, is that it?
That's it.
Is that it?
It might also be that these chunkier farming carries are good, rather than high mobility heroes. Having said that, though, it's like Spectre, Anti-Mage, Void. These heroes are pretty good against Zeus, right?
They love Zeus.
They love Zeus, yeah. So I don't know.
We should clarify it's definitely not being successful in the position 4.
No.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
But as the mid, yeah, I think Boots of Travel's an absolute must. I think you really need movement, speed, mobility. So if you have Boots of Travel Yules, you're very nippy, and a lot of the time the enemy will not have the means to catch and lock you down. Global mobility is fantastic for any mid laner, but Zeus doesn't care much about skipping power treads. There's a lot of other mids do, like a Co-op or Storm, say. But why it would do so well in this patch? I don't know. I feel like Zeus has always quietly had a decent mid-win rate.
It's a pub stomp hero.
Yeah, because it's good in pubs for some reason. Because you can just abuse people with spells. Is that it? Easy to execute. Just click spells and people are like,
AoE
shit.
damage, global.
So much damage. A point I would make about Zeus, I don't know what stats you see, but in the weak stats of Dota buff, in Archon, decent 14% pick rate, high 57% win rate. In Archon, that is high, but then it does slowly deteriorate down as you go up, and then you get to Divine Plus and it's 49%, which is, to me, makes sense as a Zeus. Like, I wouldn't think it's a strong hero with substantially above 50% win rate. I think at Divine Plus, 49% is like, yeah, fine. People are going to not be scared of a Zeus and will abuse the Zeus. But in lower ranked pubs, like you say, you probably could stomp it quite easily and just slap people's spells and not get caught out and whatnot.
And 49% for Zeus, which is a hero that's definitely more favoured in pubs than pros, that's a really poor win rate. A Zeus's average win rate across Dota history, I'm sure, would be like 52% or something in pubs.
Yeah, so it's definitely dragged up by the lower or the average games rather than the high Divine Plus ones. But yeah, therefore as a pub stomper, seems like a good choice for the median game.
Yeah, I think so.
Simple game plan, honestly. His spells aren't hard to use because you just use them and you've done well. Like, there's very little positioning to go on, or like angles to do, or even targeting to do. Really, just slapping spells as often as you can.
Yeah, it's an excellent hero against some carries that are strong. We mentioned carries that's bad against like anti-mage, but it's good against heroes like TB, which is coming back a bit. Naga's not really a popular hero, but Drow Ranger's got a pretty good win rate at the moment. You're seeing more and more Drows. Zeus is very good against Drow. That's kind of a weak point, because it's basically just TB that is good against out of the heroes that are prominent in the meta, but I could go some way to explaining it, I suppose. Anything else to be said? Do we have any other points? Overall, are you in... Well, I was about to say you're enjoying the meta at the moment, but then I remembered that the only meta that matters is what four heroes are flying against.
I mean, it's a fantastic question to ask Adam. What Labyrinth meta are you enjoying? Are you happy with the Wyvern, Sniper, Tusk, plus what's the other one? Weaver.
Yeah, because I never get that lineup.
Oh, people grief you with Magnus.
Well, no, people, I mean, they just... Well, but mainly because I usually pick Omni Knight, so by definition, that lineup can't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I want to start playing Tusk and learn it, because it actually is top tier. It's just that you actually have to hit skill shots. So I probably should just try and get good. I do like playing Wyvern, like the super late game Wyvern. If you actually get the talents, just is amazing. Like, you just feel like a AC 130 helicopter just shooting from like 1,000 range away. It's splitting into like 5 different targets. You don't even have to like aim. You just A click and everything dies.
Yeah. There you go. I guess that's all for episode 101. No Flame Corner this week. I promise it'll be back next week. That's simply due to the number of segments we have. It's too many segments in episode 101. Flame Corner will be back in ep 102 though. And until next week, stay safe out there, and hopefully you can beat Marco and Adam to the completion of Aganim's Labyrinth. Let us know on the Discord if you have completed it. I don't think... Has anyone completed it yet on our Discord? Has anyone made that public announcement? Oh, Adam's completed the whole thing.
I've done tier 4 twice.
Oh, I thought you hadn't. My man.
No, yeah, no, I've done it.
What were you saying about only being able to get to room 15 or something?
Well, I keep trying to do it on tier 4.
Oh, I see, but you have done it. Okay.
My record is room 15 on tier 4. I don't know if you.
Oh, okay. Oh, forget that then, listeners. You're too late. Adam's already there. Oh, there you go. have a final whistle and see you again soon.